Ugh, God, I love wine. I mean, God, I love painting. But how great is wine? I love you. Hey all, Wild coming at you, super clutch like always. And in today's video, we got something really special for you. I'm gonna show you the very first painting tutorial you should start with if you wanna do Bob Ross or landscape paintings. I'm gonna show you how to do clouds, mix colors, and create a beautiful painting from beginning to end. And if that sounds like something you're interested in, then you're gonna wanna stick around because we're actually gonna pick it up a notch and actually make it a Wine Wednesday. So go ahead, grab your mixing palette, grab a bottle of wine, and grab your best girl or guy. Or if you're like me, go ahead and grab 2 bottles of wine because here we go. Now real quick, before we start this video, all the items, colors, supplies, everything you need, including the wine, are in the video description down below. So make sure you click on that and see what you need so that way you can progress with this tutorial and dominate it from beginning to end. And also real quick, if you try this painting right here and you like what you did, do me a favor and send me a pic of that art. I would love to see it on my Twitter or Instagram. Again, links down below. And here we go, my friends. Might as well just get this started right off the bat because I mean, hey, this is the only true way to paint and have fun. Yep, it's one of those days. And there we go. Now let's paint. The colors that we're gonna be using today to give you a nice visual representation will be Phthalo Blue, a nice violet purple, permanent red rose, and a cadmium yellow. And of course our ocean will be blue with a mix of colors. And of course we're gonna need a little bit of white, but these are all the colors that we're going to need for today's painting. So we're gonna be using a level 1 canvas, and what I recommend is make sure you add an extra layer of gesso so it doesn't soak up all the extra paint. And we went ahead and added our magic or liquid white on top of our canvas so it's good and ready to go. Just give it the finger touch and you want it to be exactly like that. That's the perfect amount. The reason we have this piece of tape here is because this is going to be our horizon line for our sunset. You don't need this if you feel like you don't want it, but I'm just putting it for you out there so that way you understand where we're gonna stop with our sky and where our ocean is gonna meet, okay? Now, like I said, we're going to be using blue, purple, red, and yellow for our sky. And we're actually gonna work from the bottom up. And the reason is because all these colors in this order going from the bottom up are actually less powerful. If you started with blue, it would overpower purple, purple would overpower red, and so forth and so forth. So we're actually gonna start with the bottom and don't give it too much thought. Let's grab a little bit of yellow here and we're only gonna be using the corner of the brush. And wherever you think the sun should be, make sure you just hit it. For this painting tutorial, I'm gonna put it right there in the center. And all I'm going to do is just take the corner of that brush and just do some light cross strokes. And I wanna make sure I leave some white gaps around because that's gonna create a nice little bit of depth. When applying your sky, remember to leave some white gaps between your colors because this will allow us to blend colors more naturally and it's gonna add a lot more depth to your painting. That's just a wine tip for you. And I'm just gonna zigzag this all the way up into here and that is basically it. And let's just add in a few little strokes. Don't worry about it too much. This is a very light touch. This is just giving us a basic structure. Now let's work up into our red. Same dirty brush, just wipe it off here. And let's work a little bit into this red and right there into that yellow. Get a nice vibrant starburst orange. And again, let's find some spots where we can fill in. Just go right over here. Now let's add a nice vibrant red here to really make this stand out. I'm gonna push a little harder and put just a few strokes in here of separation. Heck, let's even add a nice little bright red down here. And let's take a little bit of this and of course, add it down in here. Now when adding color to your sky, make sure you leave some gaps. Remember, white is a color too, so you don't have to cover the entire canvas in all these colors we're adding to the sky. So make sure you leave a little bit of gap there because it's gonna help with some depth effects. Now, as you apply colors to the sky, it's kind of the same steps over and over, so have a little bit of fun with it, okay? If your paint looks like it's going on the canvas kind of sparse, don't worry about it. We actually kind of want that because we're gonna fix that with a 2-inch brush. We don't want a lot of color because that's gonna wreak havoc on all those clouds we're gonna make. So try to only apply a little bit of paint and give us time to work that 2-inch brush magic a little bit later on. Now we can work up to our blue color here. Still, same dirty brush. Now this blue is very powerful, very powerful. So make sure you start with a nice even light coat here. And we're gonna start up in the corners here because it's gonna give us that vignette look, okay? So let's just do a nice little cross stroke here and work from the top and make sure we make those corners a little bit darker as we start to pull down towards our lighter value of colors. And let's start to pull this color and mix it all in with all these different values here. And this is just a guideline of what we want to have happen. Always remember that our ocean has to reflect our sky. So whatever colors we apply to our sky, we want to also put down in our ocean. Just add a little bit of color and we'll get to this a little down the road. But don't forget to put the same color down underneath that tape, okay? Cheers. Now I'm going to take my 2-inch brush, which has a little bit of the cadmium yellow and just a tiny bit of liquid white that I've pushed into the bristles here. And this is going to allow it to blend a little bit more. And let's see what we can work in before we add any more paint. The reason we don't want to add too much paint is because when we add clouds on top of it, we want them to stick easily and we don't want to contaminate our clouds. So we're just going to do some light cross strokes, keep them short. Now I know what you're thinking. This painting looks like a colorful dumpster fire at the moment. And you know, you're not wrong, but this is just, again, our basic structure, and you're about to see some awesome magic happen with that 2-inch brush. So get that wine glass ready because you're gonna be in awe. So let's start right here in the center, and we want everything to be velvety smooth. So work with our yellow before we go to our reds. So now we got a nice yellow. Let's go over this corner here and just some short cross strokes here. Let that undercoat of paint work its value. And this is where all the blending magic's going to happen. If you get any parts you don't like, go in with a nice clean 2-inch brush and work yourself from the bottom up if you have any spots that are a little harsh. But remember, the sky's not always perfect, so sometimes having harsh contrasts look beautiful. So now let's add some longer strokes in here very lightly just to smooth everything out, okay? And if there's parts you don't like the centerpiece, just feel free to work it in there a little bit more. Don't be afraid to really work in that blending with the short and long cross strokes there. It's gonna look fantastic and you really do want it velvety smooth. Now just to let you know, your hand and forearm will probably get a little bit tired, but it's okay. You've been practicing for years with all those lonely nights you've been spending alone. God, high school was so lonely for me. That's all right, I got painting. For anyone that struggles with adding clouds on top of their painting, add just a little bit of liquid white to your titanium white, so that way it'll flow a lot better as we apply. So I'm just gonna add a nice little dollop down here, just in case I have to go into it for any particular point where my paint won't stick. Now I'm gonna take some of this white over here and move it down over to here, so this way I have a little section for making colored clouds. I'm gonna take a little bit of this red, add it in there, and a little bit of this orange and add it in there. And we're gonna start to mix this up. And this is gonna be our base value of our sunset color in our clouds. And I kinda want this to be marbly, so don't over mix it, okay? Now, if this is your first time painting with me and you've never seen me do clouds, you're in luck. I'm gonna have a video up here in the top right corner that shows you a cool couple ways to do clouds that'll really help you out before you go on with this tutorial. Really recommend checking it out. The biggest problem you're gonna have with this painting is the clouds. Everybody overworks them, spreads them out too much. You wanna keep them kind of to themselves. Don't kill all the darks and don't blend out all the white and highlight there. You wanna treat them soft and seductively. Keep them very close together and tight knit, so that way they stand out against all those beautiful colors you just created. Note, with only the top part of the brush, we're gonna do small circles and only work on the bottom part of our cloud and push it back so it looks like the clouds are sitting in our sky, creating a nice depth perspective. So very lightly start off with some small circles. And remember not to touch the top of the crown. Work with your lighter colors first. Work off any excess paint you have on that 2-inch brush, and we're gonna do some slow, soft cross strokes on the bottom of the cloud here. If you want to add depth to your cloud, gingerly go across it and pull that paint down and into the cloud, creating a more full-bodied effect. This is a very, very light touch. And don't be afraid if you get paint on any part of the canvas because, you know, it's oil and we can easily fix it. Very light touch there. See how much we just took off? Now you get to decide on which way your wind's blowing. If you're right-handed, it's probably easier to go to the right. I want you to do a very U-shaped check mark from the bottom all the way to the top and through the cloud. And this is a very light move. All we're doing is just kissing the cloud right here, and this is gonna give it that bodied look as if it's floating in the air. Very easy. Don't worry if you get any patch marks here. And again, work on your light colors first, then to dark, so this way you eliminate your contamination problem. Damn, you just made some sexy clouds. Congratulations. Now, you can stop your clouds here if you like them
soft and supple.
But if you want to add a little extra detail and make them pop, you can add a little bit of highlight on there with adding a little bit of liquid white to titanium white, okay? And with this extra color here, it's gonna make your cloud pop a little bit more, so let me show you how we do it. With your fan brush, take a little bit of liquid white and mix it with your titanium white, so that way it'll stick a little bit easier. And again, we're only going to be using the corner of the fan brush. And what we want to do is look for spots that we can add a little bit of highlight and give shape to our cloud. And all I want you to do is just tap a little bit with the corner of the brush and see where your cloud maybe gets a little more shape from hitting the sunlight. Now I know our sunlight's underneath the cloud, but I still want you to add a little bit of highlight on top. Now you're probably wondering, why are we not adding highlights to the bottom of the cloud? I mean, after all, that's where our light source is. It's underneath the cloud. And why that is correct, and you should do that, shut up. We're not concerned about that just yet. That's an advanced technique out there where you really see how light cascades around. And painting on top of a cloud, you know, to be honest, is a lot easier for a beginner out there. So just play around where you think the light would be dancing around your cloud, okay? That's right, I'm calling out all you prestigious painters out there. Let people have fun and paint. If you get any contamination when getting to your blue, don't be afraid to rub it off on a paper towel. This will help you a ton, and a lot of beginners make this mistake. So don't be afraid to, you know, wipe it off and start again. With a clean 2-inch brush, I want you to gingerly go on top of the highlights and blend them into the body of the cloud. Now this is an extremely soft and feather touch, so I recommend probably practicing it really quick on your palette or on a spare piece of paper, because it doesn't take much to add these into your clouds. Now let's work these into our cloud. Again, just like we did before, slight little U-shapes. And you can work it as hard or as soft as you like. Get your mind out of the gutter, ladies. Congratulations, you probably just made the best clouds you've ever painted as a new painter, and I bet you they look fantastic. Great job. Well, now that we're halfway done through the painting, let's take a small little break and talk about our delicious wine. Our wine for today is a Merlot from Black Stone. It is carefully crafted to have a smooth style, consistent, balanced, and perfect for any occasion, from dinner to parties, or in our occasion right here, hey, it's perfect for painting and drinking. Blackstone's Merlot shows rich blackberry, plum, and raspberry flavors with a hint of vanilla and toasted French bread. Definitely don't taste any French bread, but I definitely taste some fruit flavors there. Who the hell puts French bread on a bottle? Yes, I taste so much French bread. Has nothing to do with raspberry or plums or even the sweet, sweet berry of the woman. Don't know where I was going with that. Should stop drinking. Hey, remember, painting should be fun, so drink up, paint responsibly, and let's continue this awesome painting. Oh yeah, just tasting all that French bread flavor in this wine. Now that we're all sauced up and ready with courage, we can remove our paint here very softly. What we want to do is close this gap between our sky and our ocean. And to do that, we're going to add a little bit of liquid white here because this is bare canvas. Just take your 1-inch brush and just slowly work the liquid white up into here. And don't worry if you get a little cross contamination. Now, I used a big piece of tape here just so it's easier for you to see, but I recommend using a very thin piece of masking tape or no masking tape at all, because you don't really need it here. When you filled in that horizon line with liquid white, you want to throw in the base same structure with our colors, the yellows, the reds, the purples, and the blues. But just for a quick note, don't overwork or put too much color in here, because a little bit of color will go a long way, okay? The water is where you get to have a little bit of fun. You can put different multitudes of colors in different spots, because that's gonna add different depths and dimensions. So don't be afraid to add a little purple here and there, or a little bit of red here and there, because they're gonna blend beautifully with those other colors, and they're gonna add some deep and dark, rich spots to our ocean, all right? Have a little bit of fun. Now with a clean palette knife here, we get to add some water ripples. Just pull your paint flat and cut gingerly across it, add a little ripple here. And what we want to do is follow that line of what we had and just cut in evenly across the water here. Little white caps that are kind of cascading down and around. You can use the top part of the knife and the bottom part of the knife. And it's really up to you how much of an impasto look, which is going to add texture to it, that you want to come off. The only note I'm going to give you is you kind of want to make it look a little bit like a triangle, as if it's coming down to the center point here. And these are going to be our little white caps as they go across. And have a little fun and use just the edge of the blade to cut things across here. It's going to add a little bit of that fun detail. Generally better to have a bigger grouping back here because of the perspective of it being farther away. More of the white caps would be closer together. Now, the more white caps you add, the more emotion in that ocean. And that's really up to you if you want to have a really, raging ocean, or you want more calm. So I would start out with just a few white caps and then kind of step back and see how you feel about it, because you can always add more, but it's one hell of a time taking them away, okay? Now, if you don't like the rough ocean look, you can take a very clean 2-inch brush and gingerly just feather this all in. It's really up to you. Now, please note, the paint will spread around, adding more white caps, but it will make everything look a lot softer. So please note that on the sides here, you're going to get more added white, but you can cover that up by putting a nice little frame or working it out with your 2-inch brush again, which I'll show you here in a second. But just very lightly go across. And if you don't like these details right here, just slowly work them out. Just blend them in just like that. See how easy and awesome that painting was? It gives you the perfect balance of mixing colors, making clouds, and making a complete landscape from beginning to end. And we did that all while enjoying our nice bottle of wine, and hopefully you got to share this night with somebody special to you, just like I got to share it with somebody special to me. You're so pretty. Now I'm gonna finish up my bottle here and enjoy the rest of my night, and I hope you created something beautiful and special out there. And if you did, don't forget to send it to me on my Twitter or Instagram. And cheers to all of you awesome and beautiful people out there, and always keep on painting, and of course, peace. Out of wine. I'm out of wine. I guess we'll have to do another painting in the future.